Hello there, welcome back to another episode of Strife's Talking Points, where I try and make sense out of the world and give you all my opinion and then go through the comments and see what other people think, how other people feel about the content and what I'm saying, and see if that makes it reasonable or not. Now, in this Friday before I took my weekend, I did a short video about the Proud Boys coming to Portland, and my expectation was that you would see Antifa violence, you would see quite a bit of clashes with police, and overall it would be more of a left-wing violent affair than it would be anything associated with the right. And lo and behold, my predictions seem to have been correct. Now, from USA Today, far-right Proud Boys claim mission success in Antifa protest, vow to hold monthly Portland rallies. Now, for the city of Portland's sake, I hope the Proud Boys don't, just because of the money that it costs the city to hold these, and the city itself, I don't believe will ever, even if they spend their entire budget trying to curtail and hold back Antifa protests and action from the extreme far left, I don't think the city will ever be able to condemn them, because they want to be considered, as they say repeatedly in various articles, they are a progressive city. They believe that even though Antifa is shown to be violent and continue to have violent actions, that they believe that's more of what the city of Portland wants. And here we go. The far-right Proud Boys claimed success and vowed to conduct monthly protests in Portland after a weekend in domestic terrorism rally in Oregon's largest city drew hundreds to condemn anti-fascist activists. Rose City Antifa, Portland's anti-fascist activist organization, countered with its own demonstration against the Proud Boys, an all-male extremist group condemned by the Southern Poverty Law Center for its ties to white nationalism. Now, that's very strange. This is the leader of the Proud Boys. It is not a white nationalist. He's not white. I've seen multiple members of the Proud Boys. They're not all white. They the ties to the what you would call white nationalism is generally only because they were one of the groups that were in Charlottesville. In Charlottesville, there were not just two sides, neo-Nazis and Antifa. There were dozens of different groups, all there for different reasons, all there to rally and do stuff. It just so happens that a lot of people did clash, neo-Nazis, the Antifa, and always remember that up until Antifa and these far left groups started attending, the police weren't really necessary. It wasn't really a big deal. But now that Antifa's gotten involved, you have to have 1,000 police on the streets for a rally. Portland Police Lieutenant Tina Jones said 1,200 people representing both sides took to downtown streets, and at least 13 arrests were made. Authorities were mostly able to keep the conflicting groups apart through a series of protests and counter-protests lasting about 9 hours. 6 people suffered minor injuries, Jones said. We know there is a possibility that assaults or other crimes occurred outside of the view of officers, police said in a statement. Officers and detectives will be spending the hours and the days ahead writing reports, conducting interviews, and pursuing investigations. Now, of course, here you have the thing here where Donald Trump, major consideration is being given to naming Antifa a organization of terror. The U.S., I've learned this, doesn't have a specific way to designate a group a terror organization, a domestic terrorist group. I've learned this through watching videos, doing a little research. However, the FBI and multiple groups of law enforcement all around the country are already consider Antifa's activities terrorism. They're already seen that way by a lot of various groups, and You know, it's just the mainstream media. A lot of other people will call out people on the right, even if they're not far right. They just call them alt-right, call them the far right, just because it's easier to label them that way. You can list your stories that way. Now, in this story, this is from CBS News. You see here, demonstrations began about 8:30 a.m. and Outlaw, that is the chief of police's name, is Outlaw, I believe, or police commissioner. It's a great name for anyone involved in the police. Said there were numerous conflicts between protesters. Police said they do not categorize the arrest by political affiliation. At least 6 people were injured, including 2 persons transported to a local hospital. Outlaw said none of the injuries were caused by police. Now right here you see one of the arrests. This is a Antifa protester. Now I was looking for some stuff I found the other day where a left-wing commentator was, or far-left commentator was trying to categorize this guy as as right-wing. However, he is a left-wing protester. He's out there causing disturbances, and there's where he got arrested. There were multiple pictures and videos of him doing random stuff. Here's a collection of some of the stuff picked up. You see a shield. These are flagpoles. It's kind of hard to see. Let's pull up the image. These are flagpoles. People wanted to have their flags, of course, on a pole. However, since a flagpole can be used to stab someone, didn't happen. Bear spray. Very common thing you see in Antifa, where they bear spray people, and then they, because it's a big cloud, it has a great reach, and then they go in and start hitting them. More on that at the end of the video. Also, I'm not 100% sure. These are just, looks like wooden sticks somebody ripped off a wall. Could have been sticks holding signs. You see the what looks like paper there. I don't know. So there's that. Oh, already had that image pulled up. Right. Now, throughout the day, you had people on the right who were not part of the actual Proud Boys March. Proud Boys March, there's lots of images of it. It's kind of up on one side. However, here's some pictures. Here's a guy, I hate the left and racism, dressed up as got a little Spartan helmet on. Him and his girlfriend were kind of cornered by Antifa, chased out, pushed around. And there's a short video here. A patriot couple gets assaulted and chased by a swarm of Antifa protesters. This is how Antifa acts. So these guys were too close.
Hey, fuck you! Get the fuck out of here!
See, that guy just jumps up behind him, starts screaming. You know, one of the hard things to kind of understand for a lot of people who don't watch this stuff, don't see this stuff, is how aggressive. Look, he's asking to be fought. He's got his weighted gloves on, helmet, goggles, black mask. This is the traditional Antifa approach. Yeah, he's cussing at her, trying to get her down. They just keep coming, keep going, keep going. More and more of them swarm. This is Antifa. Look, Antifa's attacking them. Going after him, going after the girl. Fight breaks out. Antifa continues to swarm. She's doing something that I would typically assume is Antifa spraying silly string on people. The general people trying to get them out of the area. Yeah, if you're ever in one of these, don't go near Antifa if you're not a member of Antifa. They're coming to get you. Here's another video. This is Andy No, the reporter who was attacked in the last rally. Of course, you have to have Antifa recording everything. This is the man that's shown in pictures earlier being arrested for screaming and yelling at police, getting aggressive. You see here, Antifa cornered some people, beat them up, because that's kind of the tactic. Antifa attacking Proud Boys and people as they leave, swinging a hammer, throwing things at them.
He's got a hammer! Hey, no hammer!
Spraying in the spray, throwing hammers. And that is as the other group was leaving. There was actually a very interesting video of that on the local news, which I haven't been able to find anywhere else. It could have been already squashed as a searchable item. Middle-aged man maced and beaten unconscious by the Antifa mob.
I'm trying to help you up, you crazy bitch! You guys gotta move! Get the fuck away from me!
Attacking another bus. This is all related. See that? Smacking glass, breaking windows, smashing. That's peaceful Antifa. That's the violence. That's what generally isn't reported a lot on when you watch mainstream media. They just don't want to cover it because the left can't be violent. It must be the right. So these are actually the groups leaving. They have a sign in the window that says Antifa is terrorism. Yeah. Here's another video. This is from Facebook Live. There are two guys who were on the wrong side of the street. They were being chased out by Antifa groups. Police end up having to escort people. This is a Facebook Live. I'm probably going to link this one in there. Because if you are not a member of Antifa, not a member of the far left, and you're on their side of the protest rallies, they silly string you, they attack you, they mace you, they beat you. That seems to be what happened. Here's another man here. Do it. Been milkshake, been hit for having an American flag. Now, right here at the beginning, I was looking for this video here. This is a YouTube guy, Elijah Schaefer. I watched some of his content. It's not too bad. It's a lot better than my content, so I'll probably link his stuff below. He's sitting here. I'm going to turn the volume off. There's a lot of vulgarity, a lot of cursing in this. Antifa kind of chasing people through, throwing things at them, milkshaking them. Police decided to stop protecting a small conservative group that got separated, and Antifa went after them. Man holding a flag got a bunch of stuff thrown on his head.
26 and Lloyd Center want to send you back to school in style.
So we are giving away a $1,000 shopping spree.
Watch Point 6 News this morning all this week for the word of the day.
Then go to coin.com/contest and enter for your chance to win.
These things, these commercials, these autoplay things are everywhere. It's hard to stop them all. I'm sorry. When you run a bunch of tabs, it's just very difficult. But you can go and watch the live stream. You see Antifa gathering. This is a small park there that they sort of took over. The trains or trams are supposed to still run through the city. The police ended up having to call this a civil disturbance after Antifa kind of shut down this entire park. Cars are supposed to be, you just saw a car drive through right there. Cars are supposed to be able to come through this park. However, Antifa, of course, began sitting in the streets, blocking the road, taking this. This is actually where it was considered a civil disturbance. And the police again started arresting people in the street. This is on Facebook Live. It's a 2-hour plus video. If you have time today, watch pieces of it. You can fast forward it. Flag and cross. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a right-wing source, and they just show a couple clips from that. Antifa, this of course they're going with Andy Knows reporting, just showing people showing how Antifa kind of acts, stealing stuff. You know, you just never know. I don't know how you can't consider left-wing violence escalating. They are getting, especially in these cities where they're a part of it, they are getting more and more aggressive. Again, this is the leader of the Proud Boys. Not a white guy, not an alt-right man, just a person who expects to be able to go out and speak. And this is, for me, if you're going to have 50 guys come to your town and hold a rally, and it's just those 50 guys, I don't see any problem with it. I don't really care what they say, who they are. And this is actually pretty much the entire Proud Boys group that was there. Probably, I believe they said there were near 100 people. They seemed to hold true to one large group, and that was it. This is them hoisting the flag. They marched across the bridge, they did their thing, and then they left. They got on the buses, they came in, and went home. You didn't see a lot of, from any of this, you haven't seen evidence of them actually being violent. However, the mounting evidence, all the pictures, all the videos that I've been able to find are of them, Antifa, coming after Proud Boys, coming after everyday citizens, causing civil disturbances. And I wonder, when is the tide going to start shifting, where just because someone's a conservative group, where they say being a man is a good thing, having fun is men, being manly is not a terrible thing. Why is that? When will that not be considered extremist, but protesting, attacking people in the streets, throwing things? When will that be considered extremist? I mean, the violence from the videos, from the information, shows that Antifa is generally just being violent. They're going out there, they're attacking people, shouting, stalking people, all that. And that's kind of where I'm ending this, is you really don't see these guys coming out there being violent and aggressive. I really do. This is my firm belief after, researching the Proud Boys. If the Proud Boys are coming to your city and you want to group them up and sort of, I wouldn't say diffuse them, but shut them down, start a beer garden. Put a beer garden in X part of the city. Keep Antifa several blocks away. Have the Proud Boys march into the beer garden. Let them have a couple beers. And then march them home. Because no one really likes to go walking after they've been drinking. I mean, I don't. And I'm pretty sure if you did that, you'd have the Proud Boys come to your city. They'd have a couple drinks. And they would leave. That's my thoughts on the whole Proud Boy situation. Because that's it. That's the whole group. Came to the city. You'll notice they're not all white. There's a lot of white guys there, but there's some blacks, there's Hispanics, there's just guys. I saw the stuff in New York where there's Asians and Hispanics and blacks and all these other people in there. And the leader, of course, is this guy, not a white guy. And then you have to have police riding in on caravans to shut them down. I wanted to see. Nope, not going to happen. Can't get the commercial. And this is the final part of this story. This is about the May Day riot outside of a bar in Portland. And this is about the Patriot Prayer leader, Joey Gibson. Oh, sorry, just a headline. Fox12 Oregon. Patriot Prayer leader Joey Gibson says he will turn himself in on charges connected to Portland May Day brawl. They go over the story here. Gibson's attorney said a glitch on the Monmouth County District Attorney's website revealed Thursday that Gibson is wanted for felony charge of rioting before being indicted by a grand jury. This is Gibson himself. This is a political charge 100%, and it's meant to ruin my First Amendment in Portland, Gibson told Fox 12. Gibson's attorney, who's Also, I can't say that, Mullamonth GOP chair told Fox 12 the criminal charge is connected to a May Day brawl outside Cider Riot in Northeast Portland. Cider Riot is a bar, from what I've figured out from all this. He actually did turn himself in. There was footage of that. It was a big lead-up story. I saw on some more left-leaning news sites talking about the right-wing violence. And then I went and found this short video. This is from the Fox 12 thing. Okay, so background of the story. These guys were inside the bar and milling around outside of the bar. Antifa, this big group here, found them. And we're going to watch just a moment of this footage.
New video in...
Immediately what happens? Antifa runs in, starts pepper spraying everyone. Not pepper spray, bear spray. Bear spray is a very common Antifa tactic. They start spraying people. Of course, the video cuts. They don't show anymore. And then you have people stop. They go away from that. All right. Antifa surrounding them, attacking them. He is not involved. He's trying to bring people out of it. However, when you got two guys fighting, not a lot you can do. A little pepper spray back and forth. Yeah, that guy there is a little overly aggressive with the spray, as was the other group. Pepper spray, bear spray. However, what you notice is Antifa wears face masks, full face masks. Most of the other people don't. For his part, he said, my crime is standing on the sidewalk, recording, talking to people, and being assaulted. Who did I assault? That's part of the riot. That's part of the riot charges, that I have to be violent. And all the videos, you can go, I'll link this as well. He's trying to stay out of it. There's a few videos which actually show him breaking up the stuff. But the initiator was, of course, Antifa, who, when they separate, find a group they can take, and they've got the numbers, they start to move in to attack, to try and start fights. And it's been proven from the stuff we saw in New York and the other cities that if Antifa gets beat up while attacking people, they file charges. When people on the right get beat up, no charges get filed, because Antifa is, of course, masked and hidden and protected by the group, which is very strange, and I don't like it. I mean, that when you look at Antifa, you see a straight up authoritarian fascist regime attacking people openly, viciously, and being protected by news media, the mayor, because it's one of the headlines. Hold on, I wanted to find that. Oh, I lost the headline. Hold on, just give me a second here. Oh, here we go. The headline: Wheeler, PPB, Portland Police Bureau, kept extremists on both sides separated. This is the both sides argument that everyone on the left hates, where they say both sides. What you had were violence, a lot of it occurring from the left, because they have to attack anyone on the right they find, especially if they're separated, and then the right punching back. Now, some of the video, like the Spartan guy and his girlfriend trying to go through the park, that's just a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't put yourself out there to be attacked. As we've all seen, as should be kind of standard by now, Antifa will attack you if you're in a group, as we see from the May Day riot outside. If they get close, they're coming for you. Here's the guy there saying started the riot, when, if you watch the video that's on Fox12 Oregon, you clearly see him talking to them, Antifa running up with bear spray, trying to hit everybody. And how long before it just gets out there that Antifa is violent? Most of these, what they call far-right groups, aren't very far right at all. They're just right-wing conservative. They're men's clubs. They're saying, hey, we get to be guys. It's not evil. It's not horrible to be a guy. And you're not the end of civilization. But it is where it is. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. I got to tell you that my opinion, my views are that Antifa is a violent organization. I wouldn't consider the Proud Boys or Patriot Prayer extreme right-wing organizations. I would just consider them right-wing organizations. Typically, up until we had the rise of Antifa in Charlottesville and Berkeley and all these other places, you could have conservative groups, right-wing groups come and speak and do stuff, and there was no violence. There was no fighting in the streets. You didn't need 1,000 police. You didn't need any of this stuff. But with the rise of Antifa, now you need 1,000 police. You need FBI. You need investigations. You need blockades. You need everything. And it is my belief that Antifa is an aggressive group, whereas a lot of these other groups, if you attack them, they fight back. And something we've learned in the past, and it seems to always be true, right-wing people, center-left people tend to be more capable when it comes down to an actual fight than people on the extreme left. And that you see the extreme right, the neo-Nazis, the true white supremacists, those people there tend to be much better at actual true violence. However, with the Daytona shooting, with the shootings coming around and the fire bombings at ICE centers, and the rise of violence through Antifa and the extreme left-wing groups, you're seeing them catch up at an alarming rate. Because having a few thousand neo-Nazis in the whole country, white supremacists in the entire country, versus having a few thousand extreme leftists and Antifa in most major cities, each really is troublesome. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. That's just my take on the Portland end domestic terrorism. When imagine if they had all gotten together and talked about, you know, white supremacist group, neo-Nazis, shooters, if they had actually came together and actually had a real discussion about that, which, granted, I don't think either group wanted to have, just the way it was. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day.